I first became aware that my father was a playwright when I was quite young, and I knew always that he was to do with theatre somehow, and we always used to come watch his shows. Didn't really know if he did them or even the concept of someone doing them, someone creating them, just went to see them a lot. Went to school, and then we studied plays, and the first play we studied was Chicken, and it was by Mark Wheeler, and I was like, that's my dad. What? And the teachers were all like, yeah, and they obviously knew. And I went home and I was like, Dad, we're studying your play at our school. That's so funny. He was like, oh, yeah. And I was like, oh, it's really good, actually. I like it a lot. So he was very amused by that. So my dad asked me to choreograph the crash scene in his DVD of all the best extracts of his plays. He said, oh, here's the crash scene. I want you to try and do something different with it, because we had done a couple of other shows where he had been really interested in breaking away from the classic Mark Wheeler style and using more physical theatre-y based and more excitement. So he just said, here you go, let loose on that. He wanted the scaffolding bars to come into play, to make it more raw and more have some sort of explosive and like crashing feel to it, similar to the actual car crash. So we just had a kind of a little R&D time of just trying around loads of different things, and got a bit of music that we really liked. Someone composed it, and yeah, it was just working together to try and see it in a different way, that then Dad could then put his way onto it as well and kind of create an amalgamated perfect form. And then, yeah, he asked me to do it again for the 25th anniversary one, which was lovely because I was in the other version I did, so it was lovely to see it from the outside view and to just be the director, which was really cool. It was really useful to have a lot more people to direct as well and choreograph. It's not just 4 people in our original one, and I think he's really enjoyed having more people to play around with a lot of different stage, kind of the look on the stage pictures, the balance of the stage. So that's been really interesting to use more people, and therefore you can have so much more creative stuff using 3 or 4 people then and different amounts of people. So yeah, it was really interesting and really good, and I'd love to do the whole show kind of with this feel. So since the first time I directed the crash scene, I've had a lot more kind of training and been subject to a lot of different types of theatre. So I've seen a lot more dance, a lot more circus, a lot more experimental theatre, and it's really interesting to kind of combine those together and try and use it in a way that isn't doing it for the sake of it, which is really the means for performance is very different, which is really good. And Dad really likes the idea of changing it and completely changing it and try and do something new every time, which is really useful, not to do the same thing over and over again, especially as it's the 25th anniversary. So I've tried to bring some kind of excitement and some high energy kind of, I wouldn't say it's circus, but the same feeling that you have when you watch a circus. You should have this, you should be scared, you should be, oh my word, kind of, is this gonna, it's a car crash. So you want to have the fear from the audience, and yeah, to kind of combine with the drama that Dad will create is really interesting.